Okay, so V, tell me about the importance of telling your story. Is it, and if so, why is it important to tell your story?
The main reason to tell your own story is to document that you were here. How will anybody know? And how will anybody know it's the truth? As black people, we already know that people are telling our story the way they want it to be told and leaving everything out and putting themselves in, and it's a mess. The lies continue to be told. Um, and so when the truth does come up, it's hard to believe for those who've been fed the lies for centuries. Um, it's important for us to hear our own stories coming out of our own mouths to honor ourselves, to honor our ancestors and each other, especially. Because if you feel some kind of way about yourself and you're insecure, the world is going to press those buttons and you'll never get ahead. I mean, you'll be beating yourself up and suing yourself, taking yourself to court and all that business. And it's it's about self-worth, and it's about you belong here, and it's about testifying, and holding up someone else, letting them know that the things you've been through, they too can come through, and survive and do well.
In class, I talk about a lot of times we have these stories, bitter and sweet, that we don't really tell or tell in a certain way because a lot of times there are other people. We write like there are other people over our shoulders, like don't say that, don't do that,
Your
don't do.
mother, your your teachers, your pastors, your friends who don't know the real you, and what if they did? Would they be your friends?
Mm-hmm.
Next.
Mm-hmm.
You don't need those kind of friends.
Were there any, and some of us have been stopped from telling certain stories because we've had experiences like our journals were, we were violated by having our journals read without our permissions. And so, I mean, and that happened to me. And it stopped me writing for a while. And when the more I talked to certain people, they're like, yeah, that happened to me. And I stopped writing. And has that ever happened to you? Or
Oh yeah,
how
especially when
did,
I was younger, when I was like 12, actually when I was about 13, 14, 13, and I started taking French when I was 13. And I actually became fluent the first year, so I started writing because my mother got hold of my diary that was underneath my mattress. Who goes underneath the mattress? In
mm-hmm,
the middle of the bed, right?
mm-hmm,
And so I started writing my journal entries in French.
mm,
When I found them later on, I couldn't I couldn't
mm-mm.
read them, but I knew I'd write part of the sentence and then I'd finish it, anything that meant anything to me, in French, so that nobody else could get it. But that's like, why have a diary if you have to go through all that?
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Are you in a space now when you write that you use real names? I don't mean that you post them. I'm not talking about, blasting somebody on Facebook. I don't
right.
mean that. But for a long time, I mean, I even still have stories in my journals that I don't use real names sometimes. And slowly I'm coming out. Slowly I'm owning my own journal.
Yeah, I still usually don't put the names because I know who I'm talking about.
Mm-hmm.
And I think, if anybody gets a hold of this, this person has a wife, a daughter, a sister, and oftentimes I'm still protecting people because
Mm-hmm.
that's what I've been doing.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm working on now protecting myself,
Me too. Me
like for
too.
real, for real.
You have any lines from any poems that you can give us?
Um,
Even if it's not the whole poem.
um, there's a piece I wrote a long, like 25 years ago, called Life, and I'm trying to get to um, the last couple of lines. Something like, the last love ain't really the last, just the one before the next.
Mm.
So I continue to breathe and remember the sweetness, whether I can taste it today or not.
I love it. Thank you so much.
Thank you.